a lot of people ask me, they're like, how do we get into the business? I don't know, I just kind of fell into it. And I mean, I work from home for Activision. It's one of the best jobs in the world. Basically, I do work, they pay me money, and I don't have to deal with any of the internal politics at all. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. One of the main memories that I have was reading a book on microarchitecture in the library here in Hanmer, which sort of propelled me to take some programming courses in high school with a very good friend of mine, Scott Bean. But the years went by, and then I ended up having a very short stint at Best Tech Engineering, a very good employer here in town. And then one day I got a phone call from Scotty, and he was finally working for Activision, and he's like, I'm allowed to hire somebody, so how about I hire you? I'm like, sweet. So there was no interview process, no sending in my resume. Basically, I stopped working at Best Tech Engineering on a Wednesday, and I started working at Activision the next Monday, just like that. In 2009, me and Scotty switched over, and we went to work for Treyarch. So we worked on 3 titles for them: World at War, Black Ops, and Black Ops 2 most recently. I was a big video game fan. Like one of the first consoles I ever owned was an Atari 7800. A lot of my friends owned Atari 2600s, and then later on Nintendo, the original Nintendo in '85. After I got my Nintendo, I was that kid that called Nintendo and asked them like every single week, like, what's the next console you're coming out with? Is it going to have this chip? How much memory is it going to have? How wide is the bus going to be? And the people at the other end of the telephone line don't know how to answer these questions. They don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But I was very much into computers at a very young age. It fascinated me. I guess we must have an eye for it because a lot of people were tasking us in photographing their events, birthday parties, weddings. And finally, my wife and I decided, well, maybe we should try and see if we can make a career out of this. The idea is that once I'm tired of programming, which I don't see happening anytime soon, I would transition to just our photography business. She actually quit a very stable job at Collège Boréal in 2008 to be a full-time professional photographer in Sudbury, Ontario. So I'm the second shooter in her studio. My retirement is what I'm building here with the photography studio. I want to retire into being a full-time photographer. There's a lot of misconceptions about large families. A lot of people who have, say, 1 or 2 or even 3 children, they find themselves overwhelmed because the children end up fighting for their attention all the time. But once you bridge, once you blow past 3 kids, you'll quickly find that they become very autonomous. They don't need mom and dad's attention so much, which could be a good or a bad thing, depending on the kind of parents that are at the head of the table, if you will. But with 7, I mean, my youngest is 6, my oldest is 15, and when we come home, they pretty much take care of themselves all the way from the youngest to the oldest. My name is Jamie. I'm a father of 7. I'm a video game developer, and I'm also a professional photographer.